Today we welcome back Aleisha Stonehouse, personal trainer and nutritionist. In this conversation, we discuss how you should approach exercise when you're trying to conceive and during pregnancy. We jump into some of the research around training differently around your menstrual cycle, and we debunk some myths around movement in early pregnancy. Okay, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Today we're talking about exercise, which I love because now I love exercise because of you. But let's start with the basics. So when you're trying to conceive, I guess exercise is a bit of a grey area. So people go, oh, do I need to stop exercising? What's too much? Is it affecting my chances of conceiving? Maybe we can start with sort of like some basic rules.
Yeah. And it's true. It's very much a grey area in that exercise in general, just for normal populations, it's very much dependent on the person. Depends on what their current activity levels are, what their past activity levels are, and also just a bit about what they do in their everyday life. So in general terms, it's safer to stick with what you're doing if that's what feels good for you. And that's, you've spoken to your health practitioners, you're working with your GP, and they're okay with you still moving your body that way. Ideally, keeping vigorous activity to a minimum is best. Stress, we want to keep low. We want to keep everything balanced, and being overly stressed is going to make it a lot harder to conceive. Okay. So having high vigorous exercise, we know there's a lot of research to show that when our body is under vigorous activity for long periods of time, or it's something we engage in regularly, that can affect your cycle, it can affect how you ovulate. We see it a lot in athletes that they don't ovulate, and it's just because they're under high stress.
And they're doing a lot of exercise.
They're doing a lot of exercise.
So for someone who's not an athlete though, like what's sort of the breakdown? Is it people who are training 5 or 6 times a week, or people that are often training twice a day, or is it just individual and you kind of need to assess in your own body?
100% individual and 100% assessing your own body and what you do on a day-to-day and how that affects you. So for some people, myself personally, I can train 2 times a day.
Oh, you do?
Not every day of the week,
yeah.
But it depends on what I'm training for. Like if you're training for, say, a marathon, for example, you still need to get your runs and you need to hit your kilometers each week, but then you also need to do your strength training on top of that to help prevent injury.
But would you train for a marathon?
But I wouldn't train for a marathon
Okay.
if I was trying to conceive.
Or even a half?
Yeah, and it depends. If you are someone that's been running marathons every year for the past 10 years, and it's running's a normal part of your everyday life, and you're not adding anything new to your routine, and you're still ovulating, you're having a regular cycle, and you're not having any other stresses that are pushing your body into that state of exhaustion, then it's going to be okay. But that's like the one end of the extreme, and not everyone's going to fall into that bracket. But for general pop, just trying to conceive, it's probably opting for that more low to moderate intensity exercise is going to be the safest, and it's going to be the best for you. And it's not exercising, it's just adapting the way you move each week and each day.
And just knowing that movement is still good for you.
100%. It's great from a physical point of view, mental as well. I know a lot of people move their body for that mental aspect. And also trying to conceive is a very emotional time. And moving your body and doing something for you and having those good endorphin release is going to do a lot for those emotions as well. And just
it's the biggest stress reliever.
It's a massive stress reliever.
I always feel the best on the days that I move. And if I miss a few days in a row, I notice that I wake up sluggish, or my head's not clear. So I think when you're adding on a fertility journey and that stress makes a huge difference.
And it is incredibly stressful as well. And making sure, moving your body can help with your sleep as well. Making sure you get enough sleep can help with your relationships because you have more energy to put into other people because you've had that time to put into yourself as well. So
increases your libido,
which is perfect.
Which is really helpful when you're trying to conceive.
It's a key factor when trying to conceive for sure. So
okay, so what about weight training versus cardio? We talked a little bit about how high impact you should rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Cardio is probably going to be advised against unless it's like that low intensity cardio, like going for a walk, for example. Walking is going to be fine. It's going to be great. It's low impact. It gets you out in nature. It's amazing. In terms of running, if you've never run before, trying to conceive and starting running is not the best idea. I would probably advise against it. Same with early pregnancy. Don't start anything new. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Weight training is going to be a lot easier to control in terms of your exertion and your output in each session. Weight training, you can obviously go a little bit lighter. You can still move your body. You can make sure you're keeping your heart rate controlled. And it actually goes for males as well. So don't want them overexerting too much because we know heat affects sperm. And if they're constantly going for like long bike rides, if they're training for marathons, if they're doing hot yoga or they're in saunas all the time, it affects their sperm quality, which then obviously has an impact on whether or not fertility can occur.
Hot yoga is a big one.
And it's one for females as well. So
I always tell people to stop the hot classes.
Bikram yoga, hot Pilates, generally, even if it's like you've been doing consistently, it's generally advised against it just for that period of time.
And you dehydrate yourself so much.
So much. And that places obviously your body under stress as well. Yeah. Our body loves water. We made up of a lot of water. So if you're constantly dehydrating, depleting those water stores, you're putting your body into a state of stress.
And I think this is the thing we don't realize too. We don't need you just functioning for fertility. We need you optimal.
Yeah.
So you would have to drink liters and liters to get back what you've lost.
Especially like hot yoga and being in hot rooms or even saunaing every single day, it's like you do regularly, it's probably not the best when you're trying to conceive.
And it's different to just sweating in a gym.
Yeah, so different.
What about when you're exercising or you're used to regular exercise and then you're going into an IVF cycle? Yeah. So not necessarily just the preparation, but once you're stimulating and growing your ovaries and things like that for those eggs.
So in the initial process of IVF, it's generally advised the same rules as anyone else trying to conceive. Don't try anything new. Keep it light. Keep it moderate. Usually walking, really light weightlifting, yoga that has no inversions and isn't in hot rooms, swimming when it's really light. Again, no flipping or inversions and stuff like that. Seems to be safe and is a general rule that it's a go for it. When it comes to the actual retrieval process, it's generally advised to avoid exercise or keep it really, really minimal. So a walk here and there is going to be okay.
And most women will say they feel like crap.
And you feel like crap anyway.
They don't feel like exercising.
Yeah. And it's the last thing you want to do. And it's, if you do like, okay, I just want to get out, that's where a walk just around the block or just getting outside is going to be good for you. But generally it's advised just to reduce that risk of ovarian torsion, which can occur as the ovaries are enlarging.
And that basically means that the ovaries will twist.
They'll twist.
And can lose their blood supply, which becomes a big problem.
Becomes a massive problem. And it's incredibly painful. And it is rare, but it's still a risk at the end of the day.
You were telling me how rare it is actually.
Yeah. So they did a study, I'm going to say it was back around 2003, 2005, and it said 0.03% of women.
Which is a very small percentage, which surprises me because of what I hear from my clients, that the nurses, what they're saying all the time. It sounds like it happens all the time.
And I think it's a bit of not necessarily fear, but it's just like that advice, and we kind of latch on to like, don't do it. And it happens in pregnancy all the time, like especially first trimester. It's like, don't do it. If you feel anything, just stop.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily the right advice. Or we've got kind of that older mentality where it's exercise was frowned upon during pregnancy. It's like once you found you were pregnant, it was not to exercise at all.
Yeah, and I feel like that still carries through. A lot of people, as soon as they're pregnant, they're like, I can't do anything. I can't move. I definitely can't lift weights. Yeah. And I can tell you what, being at the gym with you and we're around all these women and pregnant women, and I'm amazed at what they're lifting and how they're moving, that's obviously not true.
No, you can train all the way up until, we've had women train up to like the day they give birth.
Yeah, and there was a woman in the gym who was pregnant and she was lifting just as heavy as me, even heavier. Yeah. Like, it was amazing.
And that's the thing with pregnancy is it's very much tuning into your body. How do I feel today? There's definitely guidelines. So we always say you should be able to hold a conversation for the entirety of your set, the entirety of your session. Your heart size changes, your blood volume changes. It becomes harder to breathe. You run a lot hotter when you're pregnant. So naturally, you kind of want to stop. You want to rest for longer, and that's more than okay. Pregnancy, it's a time to maintain and move your body. It's not a time to try something new or go for PBs. It's stay consistent. And like that client that was in the gym, she's been training for 5, 6, 7 years. She knows her body inside out. It's something she's been doing for years. So her body's well adapted to that. So if you've never done heavy strength lifting before and
don't start it when you find out you're pregnant.
Don't start it, or don't find out you're pregnant and go, I'm going to run a marathon in 3 months because you've never run before.
Anything specific that you need to avoid if you find out you're pregnant?
No. Is the blanket rule.
You can do everything.
You can do everything provided that it's safe to do so. So working with your allied health professional or your GP to make sure that...
Tell your trainer.
Yeah, tell your trainers 100%, no matter how early on you are. Tell them, let them know. 1, we can keep an eye on you. 2, we'll talk to you during your sets. So
and probably won't push you as hard as they normally would.
Yeah. Especially if you're someone we're used to seeing all the time. Like if I had you in my class and I was like, come on, Jake, you can work harder than this. And I didn't know you were pregnant, it'd be that point where I'm over pushing you when your body's like, I need to take a step back. Yeah. So it's just letting them know we're not going to go around telling everyone. It's just for your safety and to make sure we can check in on you constantly. And you should have a trainer that you can go and ask and be like, hey, this is happening, or I don't feel comfortable lying on my back. Some women can lie on their back up to 30 weeks and they feel fine and Bub feels fine. Some women can't lie on their back from 12 weeks.
And because sometimes overdoing it as well can increase the nausea, increase the fatigue. It's kind of finding that balance, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially in that first trimester, there's definitely nothing that's 100% off limits. But obviously the risk of miscarriage is a lot higher in that first trimester, which is why just tuning into your body is 100% the key. Like if you wake up and you're feeling really sick and you know you haven't been able to get in enough food over the past couple of days because you're nauseous and you're throwing up, coming into a HIIT class is probably not going to be a good idea for you. And it could be 35 degrees that day, also probably not the best day to go and train. It's probably a day where you opt for Pilates inside or a light walk early in the morning.
And this is the thing, movement doesn't always have to be so intense.
No, it doesn't. It
could be a swim, could be a walk.
Yeah. It could be, there's so many different ends of the spectrum and any movement's going to be good movement, but you really have to ask yourself, what does my body need today? Do I feel safe? Does this feel okay? And then being mindful of all the warning signs of, okay, this is too much. I need to take a step back.
You know, like things like if you're in pain after exercise, not a good thing.
No. Pain, any vaginal bleeding is going to be a bad sign. If you're a little bit further along, decreased fetal movement is going to be another one. Throwing up or feeling incredibly nauseous after training, dizzy spells, 100% is like an automatic stop.
Yeah.
So if anything like that's happening during class, it's take it back, stop immediately, tell your trainer, just so they know. If you're training on your own, that's where you really have to check and go, okay, I don't feel 100% right now. I need to stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I've heard before, and I carried this through for a long time in clinic, and I realize now that it's really wrong, that down-bearing exercise like with weights is a no-go. So you can use dumbbells and do lunges and things like that. Yeah.
And provided it's okay, like definitely further along, there's the issues with pelvis and ligament issues and instability where there might be that pain. Or we get a lot of women with lightning crutch syndrome where it's just like that painful feeling.
I had that. It was awful.
I can't speak from experience, but from what I've heard, it's not a pleasant feeling. And that's when you would be referred off if you've got a good trainer and a good gym they will refer you off to a women's health physio.
I was going to say women's health physio working with your gym or with how you exercise in pregnancy is probably the best combination.
The best combination. And if you're an independent trainer on your own, so important. Like reach out, connect with someone because it's all internal. We can't see what's happening on the inside and it's technically beyond our scope. So reach out. Send them, like your client is going to thank you for it at the end of the day because they'll get an inside understanding of what's going on. And then you relay with that health professional and go, okay, this is what you can do. This is what you can do. She can't do this. She can't do this. And that way she's empowered to keep moving and she can keep moving for as long as she wants to because being active throughout your pregnancy has been shown to have a better labor and a better recovery. So if you can keep moving, 100% go for it. But that's where that liaising with different health professionals is.
And it's a good idea to see a women's health physio if you feel like you need to when you're trying to conceive as well. I've had women that have had sort of lots of pelvic issues and tight pelvic floor and issues then having sex with pain and things like that, and they'd overwork themselves exercise-wise. And so just getting that checked and knowing what's going to be the best exercise for them throughout this next period as well.
Everyone should have their pelvic floor checked. I've had mine checked. I don't have any intentions on getting pregnant or having a kid anytime soon.
Yeah.
But just because I follow a bit more of a vigorous activity schedule and just always bracing and being tense, I did have an overactive pelvic floor.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just I just remember going in for my internal ultrasound and she was like, okay, contract. I was like, yeah, contract. And she's like, and relax. She's like, can you relax? And I was like, I am relaxing.
And how many people are just never relaxing?
And I thought I had a weak pelvic floor. So I was doing all this pelvic floor exercise because I Googled all my symptoms. I was like, oh yeah, I've got it.
I hear this a lot actually. Oh, I've been really trying to strengthen it.
But it was already strengthened. I've just overworked it and now it just sat so high. So I had to train my body to like relax.
And would you see this more in things like Pilates where you're working that a lot.
Pilates, and definitely with strength training if you're more towards that powerlifting, Olympic lifting, or just like bracing all the time.
So you're literally using all the muscles.
Yes. And I think for women as well, we tend to suck in a lot. So whether it be for like photos or just for our own confidence, we tend to suck in, and that there is bracing your core, and we're sucking up pelvic floor, we're tensing so much. If you're doing that over and over and over again.
And what is that also then doing for, you know, how our brain's talking to our body in terms
Absolutely.
of are we stressed? Are we holding on for a certain reason?
100%.
Is it affecting our nervous system?
And we might need to relax.
It's all connected.
It's
so it
all
is
connected.
finding that fine line of not overdoing it,
Yeah.
where then you're making that all too tight.
Yeah.
And finding it actually just relieves your stress.
Yeah, 100%.
What about when you should stop exercise in pregnancy?
So really it'll be doctor's advice, 100%. If you notice any of the symptoms we went over before, so vaginal bleeding, decreased fetal movement, if you become unwell, if you develop a condition like preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, it can be okay to keep moving, but probably not at the intensity that you were training at. Yeah. If you haven't been able to get any food in or like adequate nutrition, so if you're constantly nauseous, if you're vomiting, stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you're vomiting a lot, should you not be moving?
No. If you're not getting enough energy to meet your daily needs, going and then training on top of that, you're just putting your energy output now becomes so much higher, but the energy you're getting in is too low. So your body's going to be stressed because it's not getting enough nutrients.
You're putting yourself too far into a deficit.
Yeah, 100%, which when we're trying to conceive or when we're pregnant, we should be at maintenance.
Same goes for sleep.
Same goes for sleep. Yeah, 100%. Sleep is so, so incredibly important. So making sure you're getting enough, practicing good sleep hygiene, all those kind of things are going to be incredibly important.
And then what about, well, I was going to say after exercise, should you be just resting more?
Yeah. So take your rest when you need it, 100%. If you've got, say, an active job where you're on your feet, like I know we've got a lot of nurses at the gym, so they're on their feet all day. Yeah. It's just to be mindful of, one, your hydration, so making sure you're getting fluid in regularly and making sure you're well prepared for your day. So if you're training in the morning, you do a hard session and then you go straight to work, it's like, okay, I need to make sure I've already got breakfast prepared. I need to have snacks. I need to have a good lunch. It can't be one of those things where it's like, oh, don't worry, I'll just eat later.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a little bit more preparation. It's easy, it's doable. And I've got clients where they leave like a box of muesli bars in their car. They do their grocery shop, they buy an extra box.
Actually, that's quite clever, isn't it?
They leave it in their car and it's like, okay, if I need to grab a snack.
The banana's going to go bad pretty quick.
Yeah. So muesli bars, anything that's like bags of like popcorn, snack popcorn, things that are easy to grab, easy to reach for, that if you do forget a snack or if you're going to know you're going out for the day, it's just there. It's easy. It's ready to go.
I guess the other thing that we've talked about at the gym before, but not now, is also miscarriage. So obviously it's really sad when that happens and people will take a break. Yeah. Do you often find that people then are nervous to come back? For sure. Or they think that it may have been a reason why?
Yeah, and I think miscarriage, it's one of those things where the mum will blame themselves for everything and they'll find, and it's not their fault. And I think we'll always find a reason to justify it because a lot of the time we don't have an answer as to why it happened or what occurred. So we'll find things like, okay, well maybe it was the exercise I was doing, so I'm just going to not.
Or that flight, or, you know, that bit of sushi I ate, or whatever it is.
100%. And I think there should be no pressure or no rush to get back into movement. Get back into it when you feel ready to, because at the end of the day, your mental health and your emotional health is going to be your top priority, and making sure you feel good and feel safe to get back into it. Yeah. And I think if it is that part of you that's like, okay, maybe it was exercise, them forcing themselves to come to the gym is probably going to induce a little bit more stress and anxiety than if they wait until they feel ready and comfortable to do so.
Because in reality, you'd have to be exercising a lot for it to cause miscarriage.
Yeah, if you're putting yourself, and that's the other thing, there's so many other factors. Because stress comes from so many things, and it might not even be a stress-related issue. It could be an implantation issue. There's so many...
chromosomal, it could be in genetic,
There's so many things. So I think for mums, if a miscarriage does happen, it's, you know, give yourself the time and space that you need.
At least probably a month or a next cycle.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you can ease your way back into it then, I guess.
Yeah, and start with something like, you might even start with things like yoga and Pilates and walking, or stuff where you can really just focus in on yourself compared to going to, say, a group training class where the music's loud and everyone's jumping around and you kind of, that's your first time being back out around people.
Pick your vibe.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference, doesn't
100%. Do something a little bit more mellow, just allow yourself to, do. And then for some women, it might be that they need to be surrounded by people. They need to get up and about. And if that's what they need, 100% go for it.
Okay. So basically you can do what you normally do. Don't try and do lots of new things, or don't try and be a hero. Yeah. Don't decide all of a sudden I'm going to be healthy now, I'm trying to conceive, so I'm going to start running a marathon or lifting really heavy. So it's almost like what you do when you're pregnant.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's keep it moderate most of the time, that low to moderate intensity. If you're doing crazy vigorous activity, work with your health practitioners to make sure, one, that you're ovulating, that you've got a natural cycle, the cycle is going the way it's supposed to. But probably taper it back if you are trying to conceive, and also knowing that process can take a while, and for that egg to change that ovulation process, it's 100 days minimum. So if you're like, okay, this is going to happen now, but your stress is through the roof.
Yes, this is a big one. Instant results. Why didn't it happen straight away?
No, it won't happen. Yeah. Our body needs time to adjust, and roughly, give or take, it's minimum 100 days. So,
and that goes the same with like changing how you eat, the supplements you take, changing your habits.
Yeah, 100 days for those reserves to change, that egg quality to change. It takes about 100 days. Minimum.
It's like you can't build muscle straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Takes time. Takes nurture.
Yeah, you got to kind of build those foundations first. And then once your body can kind of trust the process and goes, okay, this is normal, then it will do what it needs to make the changes. And definitely getting your partner involved. We spoke about it in our nutrition episode, but their stress, their lifestyle, their training habits, they kind of need to be adjusted to.
Well, actually with men, weight training is a really good way to support their hormones, isn't it?
It's a great way to support their hormones.
And support women's hormones.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the mechanism behind that?
So it's mainly to do with the way that we hold on to lean muscle mass. So lean muscle mass does a lot more for us in terms of our metabolism and just the way we function. It tends to be not as intense or high intensity on our body. Even if you're working, it's different if you're a power athlete or you are engaging in crazy amounts of strength training. If you're just the general pop though, in terms of the way we recover from it, the way we can perform, it makes us feel good. It supports our hormones because we're not depleting our body too much and putting ourselves into a state of stress. And our body tends to be able to regulate our hunger cues a little bit better when we've got more lean muscle mass on us. So we tend to eat a little bit more intuitively is what we kind of see. It's not necessarily for everyone, but it tends to be a little bit more.
There was actually a study, I can't remember many of the details, which is not useful right now, but they took groups of men and they got them to start exercising at least 3 to 4 times a week over a 6-week period, and they saw that a lot of their sperm parameters had actually increased, testosterone levels came up, and then as soon as they stopped, everything just went back down again. So it's a really good way to start. It's a cheap way to start. Like it's good for you for your whole life. Yeah.
Absolutely.
How we age and
take it slow, start low, leave your egos at the door, and just start. If you're starting start somewhere. If it means you start body weight, fantastic.
It's like my husband has always been someone who's weight trained, and then I would say there's been a good decade where he hasn't, but in his mind he's still there.
Yeah.
And I brought him to a couple of our PT sessions, and it's been a rude awakening, hasn't it?
Yeah, it happens more often than you think. And it's definitely, I think, an ego thing when you've come with your partner and they're lifting the same as you. It's like, oh, God.
Or he's like, there's no breaks. Like he's used to just doing a set and then sitting around for maybe, I don't even know how long.
And it's funny because women, we recover faster in between sets. So we can work for a longer period of time, rest for shorter amounts of times and then go again. Yeah. Whereas males, the way their muscle fibers are laid out essentially, so we have more slow.
So he's not just being soft,
kind of. No, so they can, but it's just that they probably just rely on that fact. Oh, I need heaps of rest, and over time it becomes a habit.
Yeah, he just wants to lift heavier and not do as many reps. Yeah. It's been an ongoing joke that one day he'll graduate from the ladies' gym.
One day, we're working on it.
Okay, and there's one other question I have actually. Is this a myth? Or is it real that with PCOS you need to do less cardio and do more weight-based training?
It's not necessarily a myth, but weight-based, where it's come from is with PCOS, it's usually from a weight management point of view, or for supporting your insulin levels. And when we weight train, we create more lean muscle. And when we have more lean muscle on us, it boost our metabolism.
Oh, so you're fat burning even when you're not exercising.
Yeah. So, and when you hold on to more lean muscle mass, your overall energy output is going to be higher because it takes our body a lot of energy to maintain muscle. Whereas when we do cardio, you do your session, as soon as you finish, there's no after effect from it. And so from strength training point of view, it's better for your insulin levels and helping keeping them more regulated, but also supporting your weight as well, which is obviously going to help with a lot of things, but also trying to conceive and pregnancy, keeping you at a healthy weight range.
So if you do have PCOS, you still can do cardio, but it's better to have
more strength training in there, or weight or resistance based training. So you go and do a more cardio based class, but there will be elements of resistance in there as well. So if you're doing circuit training, it's like have some dumbbells in there or some kettlebells.
Which most classes are like that these days.
Most of them are, which is great. Yeah. So just be mindful of, I suppose, your cardio output. If you're not really touching the weights and you're just jumping around, it might be a chance to kind of switch over and just try and add a bit more resistance where you can.
Okay. And should we change how we train around our cycle?
Yes, but based on the individual. So I feel like we see a lot on social media. There's posts, people do their carousel posts and say, okay, when you're menstruating, you just do yoga or just walk or, have a rest. And then it might be in that follicular phase as you start to feel good, as your estrogen starts to rise, just go for that new PBs, add in a bit more high intensity, lift a little bit heavier. Ovulation, we tend to feel a little bit better too. So it's like, that's your chance to kind of go.
It's the high energy time, isn't it?
This is the high energy time. This is where you feel phenomenal and great. But for some women, they feel not great when they're ovulating. I think I'm one of those people where you have to figure that out.
Oh yeah, you're the opposite. You feel the best on your period, which is weird, right?
Yes and no. I don't know why. I think I've just always been that way. I used to pray when I played netball, like, please get my period on my game days, because I always perform my best.
That's bizarre.
Whereas when I ovulate, I feel like crap. Yeah, and I just feel like bloated and sluggish and gross. But I think everyone's individual in terms of that. Probably one thing to keep in mind when we're ovulating, estrogen's at its highest. And when our estrogen's really high, we tend to be more prone to injury. They're not 100% sure as to why. There's a bit of research now, so it's becoming a little bit clearer. But yeah, we tend to be more at risk of injury during that ovulation window.
What about people who have high estrogen?
They're possibly more at risk of injury. And this is the grey areas. We don't 100% know.
Because there's not enough research done on women, especially in exercise and training.
Yeah,
or athletes
get put into the too hard basket because we have too many things that fluctuate. And so there's not enough, and that's why it's so hard, because all the research is done on males, but they obviously don't have the same hormonal fluctuations that we do. So when it comes to things like training around your cycle, we have recommendations and potential indicators, but at the end of the day, it's very much like...
Wasn't there some research that came out a little while ago?
Yeah. There was some that came out, and that's where it came down to kind of listen to your body, but also...
because it said nothing really needs to change, but you should listen to your body.
And if you listen to your body and you track your cycle and you notice certain symptoms, that's how you can base your training on it. So I use the Flow app. It's super easy to track my symptoms. So I know like the 3 days leading up to my period, I feel like crap. I'm running 10 times hotter, sweating more. Everything just feels 10 times heavier. So I usually know that's my indication to, okay, let's take a little bit lighter, cut out one of my runs for the week, cut out one of my cardio sessions for the week, and just keep it more strength-based, or go for like a Pilates session instead. And then as soon as my period hits, I feel phenomenal right now. I'm going to go run as far as I can. I'm going to do the hardest session I can, because that's when I feel my best. And then you can kind of plan it with your cycle. Whereas some women will see that they're ovulating, they're like, yes, this is my chance. Yeah. On that note, trying to conceive an IVF around that ovulation or like that egg retrieval, I know you're going to feel better, but it's probably not the chance to go, okay, I'm going to use every bit of energy that I've got to push myself.
Because you should save it for another
activity. Because you should probably save it for a much more important activity.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. It's interesting though, with like thinking about training around your cycle. Yeah. Sometimes I get my period and I'm fine. You know how sometimes we talk about I've got period power? Like I always lift the heaviest. And I think in my mind I'm trying to lift heavier because I feel like I'm weaker. Yeah. But then some months I can't do anything. Like I'm just spent. Yeah. So there can be so many other things playing here.
Yeah. And the amount of stress you're under, just in your day-to-day life. Yeah. Your sleep.
How I'm eating.
How you're eating.
If I'm drinking more. Or I'm having more coffee.
That will all have a massive impact. One on just like your hormones, but also just how you're feeling at that time as well. So it's a bit of what's going on in my everyday life? How do I actually feel? And also being like honest with yourself too. It's like, am I using something as an excuse right now? Like, I can't train hard, I'm about to get my period. But like,
I used to do that with another trainer actually. I used to be like, no, I've got my period. So he would go lighter on me.
I think if you told me you had your period, I know you well enough. I think I can almost guess
I
where you
can't
are
get
in
away
your
with things
cycle.
now, but I used to be able to.
I was like, it's because I know where you are now. I can track it. I'm like, okay. I know
It's
where
good
you
to have that person that will push you though.
are. Yeah. So it's like taking that push where you can, and like, you know your limits well enough. And you'll know if you're making the excuse. It's like, oh, I didn't sleep. Like, you know, sometimes when you're about to get your period, you do run that little bit hotter because of progesterone.
Or you have a terrible sleep in
You
that
have a
lead
terrible
up,
sleep.
that insomnia that comes with it.
So if you're waking up and you're like, I haven't slept properly, I feel like I'm running 3 degrees hotter than what I usually am, then definitely it's like, okay, maybe I do need a rest today. Take it back.
Yeah, and I think that's a big take home, like actually listening to your body.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're trying to conceive, you lose that trust in your body.
Yeah.
And or you're like, I go 5 days a week, no matter what, and you just push yourself, you run yourself into the ground.
100%.
So to those people, they can just take it back a few notches.
Take it back.
Or if you're not moving at all, you can start small.
Start small. Start 1 day a week.
Yeah, you don't have to be also going crazy. You can just start walking.
Yeah. Start with walking, start simple, and slowly build yourself into it. And if you're someone that's been training for a long period of time, start scheduling deload weeks. Have that lighter week in there. Give your body some time to recover. Reduce that stress. And
Should we be doing that anyway?
Yeah, everyone should
Yeah.
be. Yeah. If you're a beginner, if you've never stepped foot in a gym before and then you start, you can usually go for a couple of months and you'll be fine because your body's like, this is great, this is exciting. But then as you start to get heavy, like lifting heavier, your body needs more time to recover. So if you're just going ham and you're just smashing out sessions all the time, it's your body is playing catch up essentially all the time.
Yeah, okay. Is that why sometimes we go along and then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm off for a week?
Yeah. Off for a week, or you're like, I'm not making any progress.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying, I'm coming every day, but nothing's changing. It's like, okay, you're at that point of exhaustion where your body's like, I can't adapt anymore. Or like your nutrition hasn't changed or your lifestyle hasn't changed, but you're trying to push me in 100 other ways. Our bodies are smart. That's its way of telling you, stop, or I'm going to find a reason to make you stop.
And if it doesn't happen that way, then it stops ovulation, or your cycle then is all over the place.
Yeah, 100%.
And that can be also just HA.
Yeah.
No, that can influence
Absolutely.
your cycle with exercise as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess that's where it's knowing your set point, isn't it?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And knowing what you can work your body to safely and knowing how your body recovers from that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all important. And our bodies are incredibly smart. So they'll tell you, it'll give you a sign, it'll give you a signal at some point. It's when we start taking notice of it. So, I tell a lot of my clients to get a journal and just like track it down how they're feeling. Or if they're using an app like Flow, they might track some of their other day-to-day symptoms in it.
Yeah, so worth doing.
We both have a Whoop, so I use that for a lot of my tracking. And
it's so good that you can put your cycle in there.
You can put your cycle in there.
And it tells me sometimes, you should train lighter today.
Yeah.
So obviously my Whoop thinks that you should train lighter around your cycle.
Yeah. And it would have worked on that based on like how your heart rate changes and your HRV and your respiratory rate. Because
this is the thing, it's tracking data.
It's tracking data and all those things, all those are signs that your body's being like, okay, I need recovery right now. I just need to rest. Or it's a sign like you might wake up super tired and then you're in the green. It's like, okay, well.
That happens to me a lot actually. Yeah. It always says I'm really recovered and I don't feel recovered.
Yeah. And I think sometimes it comes from like a mental load or like emotions. If you're taking on other people's emotions, you're like, oh, I'm so emotionally drained. But physically your body's like, nah, I'm good. I'm ready to be pushed. I'm ready to work.
And I think the biggest game changer is doing what you love.
Do what you love.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're someone that needs to change it up, change it up.
I tried to be a yogi for a really long time and then now I know it actually doesn't really suit my personality.
I definitely can't.
As well as I thought I wanted to be that person.
Yeah. And it's 100% that. Give everything a go. You'll find what you like and you might do that for 6 months and go, actually, I want to try something new. And that's so fine too.
And I actually love having a community. So people that I go, like you just saw, I have a whole gym set up at home and I can't train in it.
Yeah.
Like I love going to a class.
Yeah, because I think you thrive off the other people in the class.
Yeah.
And you thrive off the energy and like that gets you going and, having that connection, that social support too is awesome.
And that space from your normal life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're a mum and it's like you're at home all the time. And it's like, I just need time for myself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going out for 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
You're doing something for you. It's great for your stress. It's great for your mental health.
Yes.
You haven't got someone attached to you.
Yeah.
You just get to be you for a second and then, you know.
Yeah, I much prefer training without my kids around.
Yes.
They've come a few times, but it's a distraction.
Yeah. They're angels. But yes, it's a lot easier when you can just focus on yourself. I mean, we could talk for days about training, but.
Yes, yeah, we could. Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
That was good. I actually learnt new things, actually.
Oh, good.